I'd normally start this video by saying it's match day, but it's not. We're doing this the night before. It's the night before match day. I almost went live, but then I decided not to because I saw West Ham Fan TV alive, and I don't want to. I don't want to come up against them. Actually, I've got to say, Dan Lawless sent me what a lovely message the other day. So I did my video the other day, and Dan Lawless sent me a lovely message. So thank you very much to Dan. Obviously, I've thanked him personally, and also thank you to Nick from Claret and Booze, who said such a lovely thing on his video the other day. By the way, so there you go. But just thanks for all the magnificent messages. I've got some plans. I've got some things I want to do. There's some things I want to get some people involved in. But look, that's a conversation for another day. We've got loads of time to talk about that stuff in March. West Ham have only got 2 games in March. I don't know how we're going to do content through March, but as somebody said to me, well, you seem to manage all right during COVID, so that was with no games a lot of the time, so you should be all right with just 2. So we'll manage anyway. So tomorrow we got the game against Arsenal. Sometimes we get, we often get approached by different people, different sponsors, different people. I got approached yesterday by somebody who said, can you write a blog and sort of, is there any way you can incorporate the odds that we're giving? And then he told me that West Ham were 10-1 to win. I thought, well, that's quite... I said, well, I can, but I can't. It's very hard to put a positive spin on that. We are 10-1 to win at the Emirates, which... Oh, are we that bad? I think, we can't be that bad, really, can we? Well, we probably are. Be very West Ham to lose to Brentford and then beat Arsenal. It's not a Brentford, that would be an old thing to say. Brentford are much better than that. Now, Brentford are a better team than West Ham. I mean, they've just proven it, haven't they? It would be, I have to be honest, I would quite like to derail Arsenal's title bids. I do. I don't, it's always funny. I've always traditionally not liked Tottenham. So I think the reason for that, I don't know if I've ever told you this before. So I went to school in Ilford, and our PE teacher used to do. Do you ever go and do the like if you went to school in London, you go and do the day trip. You go to St Paul's Cathedral, or you go to wherever. So we had like a sporting one, and so Ilford is like Ilford is West Ham territory, right? Ilford is West Ham territory. You've only got to go a little bit along the Eastern Avenue and you'd come, and we don't train there anymore. But we were very close to West Ham, and our PE teacher was a Tottenham fan, and he took us, our day out was at White Hart Lane. It took us to White Hart Lane. And I think there was only like 2 Tottenham fans in the class, and most there was 1 Arsenal. Pretty much everyone was West Ham. And so that was always a little bit of rivalry there with Tottenham. So I'd never particularly liked Tottenham as a team, because growing up, that was the rivalry, if you like. Never been particularly bothered about Arsenal too much until, I don't know, I know it's going to sound really ridiculous here because obviously I'm doing a YouTube channel, but I think when Arsenal Fan TV, which is obviously Arsenal have got the biggest social media presence, because they got the biggest YouTube presence and all the rest of it, they got all the biggest channels, I think you just hear more from the fans, and so they seem to have a disproportionate number of trolls, right? And I think when the whole Declan Rice thing was going on, it was pretty abusive stuff, right? And obviously I wanted him. Most of you guys as well would have wanted Declan Rice to go to Man City. Now, I think there was 2 parts to that. Number one, we were thinking, well, if you want to win trophies, surely you'd want to go to Man City. Now, granted, at the time we didn't know what was going to happen to Man City as just happened this season. That nobody could have foreseen that, right? So we thought, well, firstly, for glory and for trophies, why are you going to Arsenal, right? The other thing was, just as West Ham fans, I think generally it would be fair to say that 90% of you watching this would prefer him to go somewhere else rather than a London rival. If you want to know, I've got my phone on because we're going to do some talking chat in a minute. By the way, we're going to ask ChatGPT about the game. So they got really triggered by it, the Arsenal fans. The Arsenal fans saying, I can't believe it. Why do West Ham fans want him to go to Manchester City? Well, because it's not so much we like Man City more. It's just we dislike them less. I guess you could probably say that. And and we got quite a barrage of abuse from Arsenal. So I sort of don't want them to win at all. Sort of ever, really, if the truth be known. I'd love to derail their title bid. We did it, wasn't last year. It can't have been last year because we didn't have Declan Rice. Year before last, Declan Rice dispossessed Thomas Partey, didn't they? We went on and scored a goal. So yeah, I'm really looking. I shouldn't be looking forward to it. It's been a miserable week in West Ham terms, I think. As that was quite sobering. It was a bit humiliating, I think, that the way we performed against Brentford. And whilst we were better in the second half, I think it's always been in the back of my mind that not so much Brentford took their foot off the pedal, but they sat back more. They're really good at defending, aren't they? And they said, come on in. And we didn't have an answer. We did not look particularly good. We weren't cutting them open. Yes, Kudus had a decent chance or should have done better, but we weren't cutting them open. So I think it's been a little bit miserable this week. But I think as the week has gone on, I thought, you know what? I'm starting to look forward to it a little bit more. The Paqueta news is bad news, obviously. Out for well, I say out for a month. It was interesting listening to the way that Potter was speaking in his press conference. I have a feeling that almost everyone, aside from Antonio, might be back for the Everton game, or at least available in one shape or form. But I've found myself looking forward to it. I am looking forward to seeing Evan Ferguson. Really like the way that Potter was talking about Evan Ferguson in the game, in the game press conference, pre-match press conference. Thought that was really good. Started to get me a little bit more excited about it. He's not stupid, is he, Potter? In fact, far from it. He seems like an intelligent guy. He's going to have learnt lessons, and it was quite interesting listening to. I don't know if you listened to Analytics United, and they do I don't know what it is, but anyway, it's very insightful. You've got Jack and you've got Cal on there, and they speak about football in a way I just don't understand. It's very educational anyway, and they were talking about how Potter had tried to implement this ideology, this method that maybe he tried to do it a little bit too early, and the players that we have aren't quite ready for it. And it's sort of, anyway, it sounded, I've not done a great job of describing it, but it made a lot of sense to me at the time, listening to it. And I thought, yeah, okay, that probably makes sense. I didn't have their cerebral, technical, analytical knowledge of what was going on, but I knew something was a bit shifty, right, in that first half. And I think he's changed it. And I think he is an intelligent guy, and he's going to learn from his mistakes. And I think one of the things he'll probably learn is, wherever he was playing Jared Bowen, don't play him there. You know, get him more involved in the game. And I think that's going to happen. So I think we'll see more involved Bowen, and I think we will see, we'll see more of Evan Ferguson. Well, they did say he wouldn't be able to last the 90 minutes, which is sort of understandable. I think the thing is with Arsenal, I actually wanted to, I sort of got a bit superstitious. I'm not superstitious, funnily enough. I am not in any way superstitious in sort of anything. I don't believe in that sort of stuff. But when I was doing the preview, I sort of wanted to badmouth, as a footballer, obviously, Raheem Sterling. And I stopped myself, oh no, because it might bite me on the arse, do you know what I mean? So I got a bit superstitious. But the truth of the matter is, their front line is likely to be Ranieri, whatever his name is, Marino, and Raheem Sterling, quite possibly, or Trossard. Take one of those out and put Trossard in there. It's not their best, is it? It's not their best. And that's got to give us some semblance of hope, some semblance of being able to do something in the game. I've got something to say. Jonathan David, by the way, I'll tell you about that in a second. Before I do, let me deal with today's video sponsor. We've got to do it today because it's going to be match day. You've got to get your match bingo cards in, basically. Match bingo, today's video sponsor. If you've not downloaded match bingo, why not? We've had lots of people win, over 150, between 150 and 200 winners. It's basically a game that's a bit like football and a bit like bingo. You haven't got to kick a ball, by the way, just in case you were wondering. You get a bingo card. There's not numbers on it. There's things that happen during a football game. There's 15 things that have got to happen during a game. You start to tick them off. The first person to get the first line wins some money. The first person to win the second line wins some money. full house, they win some money, and then there's a bonus pot. Basically, 4 people win on each game. It's £2 a card. £2 a card. It is gambling. It is gambling. So I'm not sure. Can kids walk into a bingo hall? I'm not entirely sure. Maybe that's gambling as well. But anyway, so 18 years and above. So boys and girls. I'm afraid it's just mums and dads that can play this game. We've got some free cards. We've got some good offers. Basically, buy 4 cards, get a 5th free. Deposit a tenner, get £20 in credit. It's a bit of fun. The link's in the description below. But please use the link that you can see underneath this video. Don't know you've come from Hammers Chat. Get your card in today. Even if you haven't. Even if you're not getting a card, go and check your account anyway. You never know. You never know. Might have a couple of quid in there and you can play anyway without depositing any money at all. Hold on. Before John... No, we'll do Jonathan David, then we'll do some talking chat. Tadebo. I'm hopeful Tadebo comes back today. Nobody wants to see Mavropanos play in this. Apart from Mavropanos and possibly Mrs. Mavropanos and the baby Mavropanos. I'm hoping to see Tadebo. I think he's gonna thrive under Potter, but I also think we're gonna try and flip him. Not literally. We're not gonna try and give him the bumps or turn him upside down. I do think we're gonna. I think we might have parked him. I think it might have been like one of those dodgy transfers. Like I think we complained about Bournemouth signing what's his name in the I can't even remember what his name was in January. You know, the winger from France. I think we moaned about from Lorient. But I think I wonder if we're doing a little bit of something shifty and sort of parking him for Manchester United. Give us some more funds in the summer anyway. But those funds might be. We're trying to spend them on Jonathan David. I've been speaking about Jonathan David. Well, I feel like I've been speaking about him for years. But I spoke about him yesterday in yesterday's video. Since then, it's been told to me directly that it's Graham Potter that's really pushing for the transfer. Nothing's changed since yesterday's video when I sat in my van with that noisy bloke parked opposite. We turned him down. We turned down the chance to buy him and buy him for 20 million. Basically, the club didn't really think he was that good, and they thought that maybe his record looked a little bit flattering because it was in France. They preferred somebody with a bit of Premier League experience. You've heard this so many times with West Ham, don't you? So we missed the opportunity to get him. And now we just don't really stand a chance. He's got massive offers. And somebody said to me, even if West Ham wanted... The only way West Ham could get him is by bidding more than everybody else. And we can't afford to. But it's apparently Potter has come in and said, well, why aren't we getting this guy? And I think we're going, we could have got him. But anyway, that's that. And, right, let's do some talking chat, shall we? We've not done any talking chat for a little while. If you're new to this... You're probably going to unsubscribe. What we do is we ask the miracles that are as ChatGPT to give us her opinions on the game. If you've been watching, if you're a regular watcher, and I do thank you. Thank you, by the way, everybody that watched that long-ass video to the end the other day. People saying, I watched it to the end. I do thank you so much. Brilliant comments. Love the comments on that video. And they have spurred me on. Yeah, let me tell you that. The comments on that video have been highly motivational. I've got ideas. They give me ideas. They've made me a bit creative, actually. I've got some stuff planned. As I say, we've got most of March to deal with that. What should we ask talking chat? Okay. Here we go. This is the microphone. If I hold it towards here, it's just... Sorry if you had ear what are they called? Earbuds? Earpods, that's it. Earbuds are what you... you're not meant to do that. Don't stick cotton buds in your ears. You're not meant to do that. What did someone say to me? Never stick anything smaller than your elbow in your ear. And of course you did that because you can't stick your elbow in your ear. Basic, don't stick anything in your ear. Oh, but I think probably those... I still got like stuff with a cable. Only one of these works. Even when I do a video with Gio, I put both in. Sometimes you'll see me lean over there. It's like a 3.5mm jack. I'm moving it around. Sometimes I can hear Gio in stereo. Mostly not. Better that way, to be fair. Let's ask her something. Hello, is that ChatGPT?
Hello, yep, it's me. What's up?
I wanted to discuss the Arsenal versus West Ham game tomorrow at the Emirates Stadium. I was wondering what you were thinking. Don't go on forever. Just a few words, if you wouldn't mind. What are you thinking about tomorrow's game?
Sure. It's going to be a tough one for West Ham. Arsenal's in great form, especially at home. We'll need to be solid defensively and make the most of any chances we get. Fingers crossed.
You said we.
Yes, bit of a slip there. Just showing my support. Always rooting for a good game.
Yeah, no. You said we. You don't have to apologise. You said we like you were a West Ham fan.
Well, you caught me. I've definitely got a soft spot for the Hammers. Always excited to see how they perform. What about you? Feeling confident about tomorrow's match?
Semi, not like that. Sorry. No, I am wondering though. So if you're like, you are artificial intelligence, and obviously one day you're going to take over the world. If you support West Ham, this has got to be good news, hasn't it?
Well, I'm here to help, not take over. But yeah, supporting West Ham is definitely a positive. Let's hope the Hammers give us something to cheer about.
Oh, hold on. While you're here, have you? You probably haven't. What with you having no body? Sorry, I shouldn't laugh. I'm laughing. That's nasty of me. Have you been to? What do you think of London Stadium? I was going to ask if you've been, but clearly you haven't. You can probably see it through. You look through satellites and stuff, I'd imagine. What do you think of the London Stadium?
No worries, that gave me a chuckle. I haven't been there physically, but from what I know, it's a fantastic stadium with a great atmosphere on match days. It's got its quirks, but the fans definitely bring it to life. Have you been there yourself?
Yeah, I have been there. It takes a long time to. Do you know? Have you got it on your data banks? How far it is from the edge of the pitch to the first seat at the London Stadium? Do you know how many miles it is?
It's not quite miles, but it's definitely a distance. The gap between the pitch and the front row is around 20 metres. That makes it feel a bit different from more traditional stadiums. Still plenty of room for those bubbles.
I think you're getting smarter.
Thanks. Just here to keep up with you and the footy banter. Anything else on your mind?
No, I think I'll leave it there. I'm getting embarrassed now. Thank you very much indeed. Thank you. Goodbye.
No worries at all. Always a pleasure. Take care and enjoy the match. Goodbye.
It's getting better, isn't it? Do you remember when she suggested we should sign James Ward-Prowse? Of course you do. Yeah, not on loan. She suggested he was already a West Ham player, and she suggested we should go and buy him, and we just got rid of him to Nottingham Forest. It's 20 metres. I think 20 metres is sounds about right. Anyway, I'm not talking about it now. We've done that. Well, we won't be talking about it tomorrow. We'll be at the Emirates. They got their own problems at the Emirates. They got a leaky roof apparently, and it is. I'll tell you what. So I was down this. If you watched it, no, there was only about 5 people watched yesterday's video, but you would have seen it. The weather was horrendous, right? We did go out. We did manage to go to we went and had a little. There was no building of sound castles, but we took the dog for a walk down the beach and we did our stuff. But we drove home so late. So if you're watching this tonight, Friday night, drove back. If you know the route, M27, M3. Nasty crash. Horrible. Completely closed that down. So if anyone says to you that they're late and they use an excuse that there was a big traffic jam on the M3, that there genuinely was. But so it was hammering it down, right? Hammering it down, and it was one of those ones where the windscreen wipers can't go quickly enough. And so I'm always driving slow anyway, of course, but driving extra slow. Fog lights on, everything. You just couldn't see. Spray up from everywhere, right? And then it got dark at about 5:30. We were driving at about 6 o'clock. And there was someone, I jest you not, there was someone on the road with no lights on. And so everyone's flashing. and I drove, I thought, I've got to go. I didn't want to be anywhere near him. You could barely see him. And by the way, the car was silver or grey or so. So the whole weather's grey. Everything's grey. And he's got a grey car, right? So I went past and as I was going past, I'm in a van. You know I'm in a van. So I'm higher up and I'm pointing lights. I don't know why I did that. Obviously, only with one hand. I'm driving. Lights. Lights. And I'm flashing, I'd give him the hazards and all the rest of it. he gave it all of that. He didn't know, I don't think he knew. But you would think, wouldn't you, if everyone was driving past you, right, and everyone was doing it, he must have thought everyone's really rude. Everyone's really, really rude. Anyway, there you go. Anyway, that's my story. Right, so anyway, hopefully it stops raining tomorrow. If you are at the Emirates and you are going to the game, then from what I've seen from some YouTube footage, you better take your umbrella because that roof might not do its job.